Mo Salah returns to join Liverpool squad and ready for Brighton match. Mohamed Salah scored his 250th goal for Liverpool in their 2-0 win over Aston Villa at the start of November. Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah is in the squad for Saturday's Premier League match against Brighton after positive talks with head coach Arne Slot on Friday. It is understood the decision was made with Slot wanting to act in the best interests of the club, particularly with a number of players out through injury. Issues still remain unresolved, and those will continue to be tackled by Liverpooland Salah's agent Ramy Abbas while the player is at the Africa Cup of Nations. Salah, 33, was left out of the traveling squad for Liverpool's Champions League trip to Inter Milan on Tuesday after claiming his relationship with Slot had broken down and that he had been thrown under the bus. That outburst came at Elland Road following Liverpool's 3-3 draw against Leeds, where the forward was on the bench for the third game in a row. In that interview, Salah said that Saturday's game would be an opportunity to say goodbye to Anfield and that he had invited his mother to attend. In his pre-game news conference earlier on Friday, Slot said there were no reasons to not want Mohamed Salah to stay at the club. Pushed on the future of the Egyptian, who signed a new 2-year contract in April, Slot added, "I will have a conversation with Mo. The outcome of that conversation determines how things will look." Mo Salah, never give up watch on iPlayer Liverpool, faced Brighton at Anfield at 1500 Greenwich Mean Time on Saturday as they look to improve on 2 successive league draws. Salah, who has scored 250 goals in 420 appearances for the Reds, has been an unused substitute in 2 of Liverpool's past 3 Premier League games. He last played in the 1-1 draw against Sunderland on the 3rd of December as a substitute, and his last start was on the 26th of November in the Champions League defeat by PSV Eindhoven. With Cody Gakpo sidelined because of a muscle injury and Alexander Isak struggling with a knock, Liverpool are short of attacking options for Saturday. After the Sunderland game, there were a lot of conversations between his representatives and ours. "Between him and me," Slot said. Salah is set to depart for the Africa Cup of Nations on Monday, and, depending on how far Egypt go in the competition, might not return to Merseyside until after the final on the 18th of January. He could miss up to 8 Liverpool games if Egypt reach the final in Morocco. Salah has scored 5 goals in 18 appearances in the Premier League and Champions League this season.
Paul Merson shares new Mohamed Salah theory as Liverpool rows with Arne Slot rumbles on. Arsenal icon Paul Merson believes Mohamed Salah has every right to be angry with Liverpool manager Arne Slot. Salah may well have already featured in his final match for the Merseyside club. Following the 33-year-old's explosive mixed-zone outburst aimed at Slot after Liverpool's 3-3 away draw with Leeds United, Salah was omitted from the squad that triumphed over Inter Milan in the Champions League. Speaking in Italy, the Liverpool manager confessed he's uncertain whether Salah will don the red shirt again. Jamie Carragher didn't hold back in his response to the contentious interview, delivering an 8-minute takedown of the right winger. Yet Merson has offered a contrasting perspective.
Merson said to Sky Sports, "I'm on Mo Salah's side. I think he's gotten too much stick. Maybe he shouldn't have done what he did, but he's a human being. He's a winner. He's a legend. The figures he's put up on the wing, goals and assists, is off the charts. We'll never see that again, in my opinion. All he's done is say he wants to play football. He's got the hump because he's not playing. How could you be slaughtered for that? There are other players in the team that could have been dropped, and he's probably thinking, we're not very good and I'm not playing. I just think it's wrong. Liverpool wouldn't have won anything if it wasn't for Mo Salah. You take away his goals and assists, and I don't think there's any trophies in that cabinet for a while. The key factor that defines Mo Salah's Liverpool fallout, Mo Salah showed his frustrations against club and manager after being dropped, but must realize that age catches up with us all. Mohamed Salah cares. He wants to play. He wants to help. It's the best form of communication he has. If that's taken away, Salah would, and clearly did, feel voiceless. Arne Slot also cares. Virgil van Dijk cares. Andy Robertson cares. Robertson joined Liverpool in the same transfer window as Salah and has faced far more affront and personal humiliation this season. But Robertson isn't Salah, and Salah is very much Salah. I was poised for a mixed-zone quote when he didn't emerge from the bench at Leeds. Instead, we got a monologue of shit poured down on Arne Slot and Liverpool Football Club. What we got helped nothing or nobody. not even Salah, and yet I want him to care. I want him yearning to be involved. I want him to use the frustration and ire of his and Liverpool's situation on the pitch. Salah's comments are because he feels constrained from doing so, and that's understandable. It's important to remember that Salah has used media and social media positively in the past. He has reiterated the standards required for Liverpool when they haven't been met and promised better. What he did last Saturday went too far, and now we're in a place of posturing and negotiation. Salah and Slot will meet before Brighton and discuss next steps. There is a factor present in this argument which will only continue to work against the Egyptian forward. Salah is 33 years old. Last season was possibly his best in a Liverpool shirt. He was unplayable and single-minded with determination to win major honors. He delivered. Whether you believe he can repeat a season like this again is open to debate, yet no longer debatable is whether Salah can get better as a player. Whether he can scale new heights as a finisher, dribbler, athlete, etc. At 33, the player has reached the top of his mountain and is very slowly climbing down, no matter how much he fights the decline. I still believe Salah can perform at the highest level. What's going wrong is far more tactical than biological. I don't think the player has lost his legs, and I didn't want him dropped in the way some social media profiles who are now seemingly outraged by his treatment did. But from a perspective of holding cards in a multi-million-pound business negotiation, which is what this effectively now is, Salah has lost his greatest asset. We view footballers through the lenses of ability and age. If they have the ability, the question then becomes about who controls their key years. Where the player chooses to spend them benefits the destination club and can damage any departing one. These players become embodiments of success and representations of standing. There are countless examples of this over the years, the most recent being Trent Alexander-Arnold. The wrath faced by the player at Anfield around his summer move to Real Madrid partly comes down to where he was in his career. At 26 years old, Trent was in his prime. His age, coupled with his ability, gave him agency in the situation. If he was in his 30s, Liverpool supporters may have been more relaxed, knowing they'd already had his best years. And crucially, Real Madrid would probably have not been in the queue to sign him. The reality is that all supporters preach loyalty. Players are only useful to us until they aren't, and that is massively defined by age. Age just simply is a factor here. Salah is an incredible athlete, and his output is still at the very highest level, but this has nothing to do with physical standings or whether he should be in Liverpool's starting 11. It's now about leverage and reputation for all involved, and Liverpool have a trump card. That this situation has arisen is entirely deflating. I love Mohamed Salah. He is my lifetime's Ian Rush and Roger Hunt. Players like him and people like him do not come around often. But more important is my desire for Liverpool to be okay. The club is and remains the most important thing to all of us. When Salah spoke on Saturday, the only people happy to receive it were those despising our club. Salah, whether he likes it or not, must factor that age works against him here. It's the one true undeniable of the entire charade.